Okay, so good morning, dear students. So in the previous class, what we have discussed is about that what are the steps to follow in orthoptic evaluation, right? So just a very short recap. So what are the things you need to do first? You need to first do the sensory evaluation test, okay? Like the Maddox rod test, the Watford dot test, okay? And then only you will move to the motor evaluation tests, okay? So first we need to do a Maddox rod test, or first we can do a Watford dot test. Then we proceed to the second step, that is Maddox rod test for FORIA evaluation, okay? So after doing the Maddox rod test, once we judge the amount of FORIA, then we note it down. So Maddox rod test is both done for distance as well as near, right? So we noted down the FORIA status. We note down the FORIA status, that whatever is the wait, someone wants to turn. Okay, so whatever is the FORIA for distance and near, we note it down in our copy. So we have an orthoptic. So normally we have an orthoptic evaluation sheet. Okay, so where we record all this data. Fine. So this sheet needs to be maintained, because this case can be like once you do the complete orthoptic evaluation, this case you can study also it later. So you need to maintain the case sheet for an orthoptic evaluation, right? So you need to note down the FORIA for distance and near. Then you will move to measurement of near point of convergence. Okay, so near point of convergence, what I told is that near point of convergence needs to be done both for distance and near, right? Both for distance and near, near point of convergence you need to be done for both for subjectively as well as objectively. So can anyone explain what is subjective near point of convergence? Yes. Can anyone explain what is subjective near point of convergence? How to measure that? Yes. Okay, so I'll explain it. So subjective near point of convergence, that depends on the subject's response, and objective near point of convergence depends whatever you see it or evaluate, right? So subjective near point of convergence means when you take the measurement with the help of the RAF ruler, okay? So when the dot and the line is there, so when the line gets doubled, when you fix it at the dot, the line gets doubled, means your fusion is breaking. So when the patient responds that the line gets doubled, okay, that means his fusion is breaking. So that is a subjective near point of convergence, right? So you note it down in the copy, and then you do an objective near point of convergence test. How to do that? You give a near target to the patient. Suppose they have given a pen tip for like to fix it, okay? So when you are bringing the tip of the pen towards your nose, one point of time, the eyes of the patient will, one of the eye of the patient will go out, right? So that means his fusion is breaking, right? So once his fusion is breaking, when his fusion is breaking, that means that point is that near point of convergence, what you measure it objectively. Why? Because his fusion is breaking means he can no longer fuse and his convergence is breaking, right? So that is the objective way to measure the near point of convergence. Subjectively also you can do it. You ask the patient to fix it at the pen tip, and once you bring it slowly towards his nose, when it tells it gets doubled, so that is the value what you note it down for the subjective response for near point of convergence. Hope it is clear to all of you, right? Previous class itself I discussed about this near point of convergence. Any questions? Okay. So if you do not have any questions, so I'll move to the next step of orthotic evaluation. That is that measurement of the amplitude of accommodation. So how do you measure the amplitude of accommodation? Amplitude of accommodation, you measure it with the help of a RAF ruler, right? So amplitude of accommodation is to be measured by the help of a RAF ruler. You can see in this diagram, you can see the examiner sitting. Okay, he is placing the RAF ruler like this, this end which fits on the nose, so at the nose. Okay, and then he gives the patient to some targets which is like written in some letters, like in near book na. So in near vision book, whatever it letters we have, right, we have seen. So any target is given for measurement of amplitude of accommodation, right? We give any target for measurement of amplitude of accommodation. Okay, so slowly what happens, slowly this target is like brought towards the from the examiner side. Slowly we move the targets towards the patient's nose. Okay, and once the patient reports the first sustained blood, that is the point what we noted down for amplitude of accommodation, right? So we tell the patient that it's letters, you fix it at this letters. Okay, and read it aloud and tell me when it gets blurred. Okay, so when it first gets blurred, when the letters first gets blurred, so what happens, the patient, you tell the patient to blink and see whether it gets clear or not. So if it gets cleared, if the patient can make it clear, you can move it further, right? And then when the patient reports that no, it is completely blur, it is blur, I cannot make it clear, that means that is the first sustained blur. So what is the end point of amplitude of accommodation measured in RAF ruler? That is the first sustained blur, when he noted when the patient reports the first sustained blur, right? So amplitude of accommodation, you measure it binocularly. You can see the patient's both eyes are open. So first you measure it binocularly. Okay, then you can measure it uniocularly also. You cover the left eye and measure the right eye's amplitude of accommodation. You cover the right eye and measure the left eye's amplitude of accommodation. Okay, so basically amplitude of accommodation in the RAF ruler, there are like 4 sides, right? One side there is, it is written in diopter. So you can measure the accommodation in diopter. Basically we measure the accommodation in diopter, in amplitude of accommodation. Okay, and one of the side it is mentioned in centimeter, right? Other one side there is age of the patient. So it also shows that what is the amplitude of accommodation which is which should be normal for the correct age. So suppose a patient is a 15-year-old patient, so maybe he needs to have an amplitude of accommodation around 12 diopter. So you can see that whether it relates to that. Okay, so for distance, so not for distance, so for binocularly, suppose you have got a 12 diopter, monocularly you can get a lesser amount of amplitude of accommodation. Okay, so for measurement of amplitude of accommodation, uh, we compare it with Hofstadter's formula. Okay, Hofstadter's formula is like, how can you be very sure that it corresponds to the age of the patients? Means if the age of the patient is 15 years, okay, so what should be the correct amplitude of accommodation? So to calculate that, there is one formula. There is one formula called the Hofstadter's formula. Hofstadter's formula is like 18.5 minus 0.3 into age, right? So 18.5 minus 0.3 into age, right? So suppose the patient's age is 10 years. Okay, suppose the patient's age is, wait a second, waiting room, someone is there. So suppose a patient's age is 10 years. So how to find out what should be the correct amplitude of accommodation for this age? So 18.5 into 18.5 minus 0.3 into age. That means 0.3 into age means 0.3 into 10. Suppose the patient's age is, child's age is 10 years. So 0.3 into 10 is 3. So the amplitude of accommodation should be 18.5 minus 3. That means it should be around 15.5. Okay, so anything less than that, if the patient, if you are getting any accommodation is lesser than 15.5 for a 10-year-old child, okay, so that means it might lead to, it may be an accommodative insufficiency. Okay, so suppose for the 10-year-old child, that means you need to have an accommodation of 15.5 diopter, right? So the child is having around 14 diopter accommodation. 14 diopter accommodation means his accommodation is little bit lesser as compared to his age. Okay, so that's how we record the accommodation, and that's how we like compare it with the age, like age factor, like whatever age the patient is, accordingly he should have the amplitude of accommodation. Okay, so for what should be the amplitude of accommodation, correct amplitude of accommodation? Can anyone try? Suppose that child is 15-year age. Yes. Can anyone try for the, from this calculation, Hofstadter's formula? If the child is 15-year-old, so what should be the correct amount of amplitude?
14.
Sorry. Yes, Rajdeep. Yes. 14 diopter.
14 diopter, ma'am.
Yes. How you calculated? Please tell.
Ma'am, 0.3 into age is
15-year-old age, right? 0.3 into 15.
So, ma'am, 0.3 into 15 age, that means 4.5.
Right.
So we get 18.5 minus 4.5. That means 14 diopter.
Correct. Correct. Very correct. Okay. So 18.5 minus like 4.5. So it is coming to 14 diopter. So a 15-year-old child should have an accommodation around 14 diopter. So anything less than that, anything lesser than that, that is abnormal. So if you get an accommodation around 10 diopter, 11 diopter, 12 diopter, that means definitely the child is having some kind of accommodation insufficiency. So whatever accommodation is required for his age, the child is not having that amount of accommodation. Okay, so you record it. Sometimes we find that yes, Meena, tell me.
Ma'am, after taking NPA, do we have to convert the distance into diopters?
Yes, we can do that. We can definitely do that. See, in a RAF ruler, what are there? You can measure it in diopter also. Okay. Also, RAF ruler, all these things you can measure. So whatever value you can get diopter, no. Next, the RAF ruler scale is having these 4 sides, right? So one is having the diopter, one is having the centimeter, one is having the age, and something, another thing is there, I think. So inches or something, whatever it is. So like age, and so whatever diopter value you are getting, so you can relate with the centimeter value in the RAF ruler. Suppose you do not have a RAF ruler at your clinic. Okay, so RAF ruler, if you do not have in your clinic, what you can do, you can measure it with the scale. So amplitude of accommodation can be also, if you measure it with the scale in centimeters, okay, so that also can be converted. So that is the NPA, near point of accommodation, that needs to be converted. Okay, also there are other methods of also measuring accommodation, amplitude of accommodation, that is a push-up test. Push-up test means the patient is sitting, okay, right? You give a near book, near reading book, that whatever we read, right? So near reading book you give, and give the innate target to fix it, to tell the patient that see this innate target, try to read it aloud. Slowly you bring that book towards the patient's eyes. Okay, so at one point of time the patient reports it gets blurred. right? This is a push-up test. Push-up means you are pushing up the book towards the patient's eyes. Okay, so you're pushing up the accommodation, means you are, what you are doing, you are measuring by pushing up the accommodation, right? So you are from distance, you are bringing the reading book closer to his eyes till the patient reports the first sustained blur. Okay, another method is there, that is called pull away method. Pull away method you have maybe heard. Pull away method means the patient is seeing blur, suppose at 7 centimeter the patient is seeing blur, so you are bringing the book from the 7 centimeter to a certain distance till it gets clearer. So that is the pull away method, means you are pulling away, right, like this. That is a pull away method. So normally what is the like, which one is the most common? The most common is the method which we use in the RAF ruler. Okay, because that is easy to calculate and all. Okay, so you can do a push-up test, you can do a pull away method also, you can do a negative lens to blur method also. NRA, PRA I will be discussing, that also I will be discussing. Okay, is this methods clear to all of you? How to measure the amplitude of accommodation?
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Yes, everything is clear. Yes,
Ma'am.
yes, yes, Meena.
Ma'am, if you are taking 8 diopters, means do we have to add the working distance to that to find the amplitude of accommodation, or
Working distance, no, not like that. Working distance needs not to be added to the amplitude of accommodation. See, let me just tell you another thing also. See, sometimes in the clinic, patient comes, okay. Suppose a patient is 34-year-old patient, okay. Then he comes for a complaint of near vision. So he is not presbyopic, right? So how to go about this? A 34-year-old patient complains of near vision. So when you check his distance vision, if you do a distance retinoscopy, sometimes you find that the patient is having a latent hypermetropia. So if the patient, you are getting a latent hypermetropia of around 0.7 plus 0.75 diopter plus 0.5 diopter, do prescribe it for distance and near. Tell him that yes, it will, I mean, he will take time to adjust. Means it will like, because distance vision, maybe the patient was having 6.6 without glass. So once you are doing your retinoscopy, you are getting a plus 0.75 plus diopter. So once you prescribe that, yes, with some effort, he is reading 6.6, and N6 now it has become clear, right? So that is maybe a latent hypermetropia what the patient was having. So as it was not corrected, that's the reason he was having a near vision problem. So once you prescribe this plus 0.75 or plus 0.5 to the patient, whatever it is his refraction, so the patient, it will be, definitely it will get clear for him. Yes, he will take some time to adjust this vision for distance. He will have some blur vision for distance, but tell him to use it for distance near, at least for computer work and all. Okay, so it will correct this latent hypermetropia and early presbyopia chances gets resolved. Another thing, let me just discuss another very important point of view. Suppose the 34-year-old patient who complains of a near vision to you, when you are doing a retinoscopy, you do not get any kind of refractive error. So what may be the cause? So maybe he is having a lesser amount of amplitude of accommodation. So now if you need to prescribe a patient, a pre-presbyopic patient, an addition for near, you need to calculate the accommodation. Okay, so how to go about that? See, suppose my reading distance is 50 centimeter. So what is the amount of what is the amount of accommodation needed for reading at 50 centimeter? Can anyone tell?
Plus 2.
What?
Plus 2.
Sorry, yes, Rajdeep.
Plus 2. Plus 2.
Plus 2. How it is? Please explain.
And there is a distance equal to 1 by f. There is a formula.
Correct.
So 1 equal to 1 meter, and f is equal to focal length. So 1 by 50 So that means equal to 2 diopter. That means 1 equal to 1 meter. So 1 meter equal to 100
Means
centimeter.
100
So
by
100
50,
by
that
50,
comes
that
to 2 diopter plus 2
That
diopter.
comes to-
Very good, very good. So suppose that the reading distance is 40 centimeter, that means 100 by 40, it will be plus 2.5 diopter. So that means for reading the book at 40 centimeter, you need at least an amount of accommodation of at least plus 2.5 diopter. Right? Is it very clear to all of you? Yes.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
it very clear to all of you? Okay. So that means amount of accommodation always changes if the reading distance varies. If the reading distance varies, the amount of accommodation changes. So how to prescribe an ad for a pre-presbyopic patient? So suppose a patient is 37-year-old patient, 38-year-old patient have come to your clinic for a complaint of near vision. It can come, many times we get this kind of patients. So now you need to evaluate the amplitude of accommodation. So you can measure it with the, if you have a RAF ruler in your clinic, very good to measure the amplitude of accommodation. Okay. Otherwise, you can measure it by push-up test, pull-up method, any method you can do it. Push-up test gives very correct results. You can see this push-up test. See, this position, the patient is having the blurred vision. So this is the examiner. She is measuring with a measuring tape. What is the distance from the canthus to the book? So this gives the NPA in centimeters, which you can convert to diopters, right? So this kind of patient always measure the amplitude of accommodation. Okay. Suppose you get an amplitude of accommodation. The patient is having an amplitude of accommodation 3 diopters, suppose. Okay. The patient, whatever you are you are measuring through the RAF ruler, you got an amplitude of accommodation of 3 diopter of the patient. You binocularly he is having 3 diopter accommodation. Okay. Now he needs to read the book at 40 centimeter. How to prescribe the ad? Always we keep 1/3 of the accommodation in reserve. Then only we can prescribe the ad. Okay, so 1/3 will keep it in reserve. We have got an accommodation amount of 3 diopter, right? 1/3 will keep it in reserve. That means 1/3 will keep it in reserve means you will keep aside 1 diopter. You will keep aside, right? So now he is having 2 diopter. Okay, so for 40 centimeter, what is the amount of accommodation required? That is 2.5 diopter. So you can give a 0.5 diopter ad. Okay. So this way actually you can sorry, 1/3 you keep it in reserve. Yes, the patient can use the amount of accommodation. So this way actually you give an addition to the patient when the patient comes to your clinic. So that is a little bit this one. So this way you measure the push-up test and all. This way you measure the amplitude of accommodation, NPA, as well as you can and you record it for binocularly as well as the monocular value, right? So this way you can do. Second way is that negative lens to blur. So you give an N6 target at 40 centimeter and you can add minus lenses and see negative lens to blur and all. We do not do it in clinic because we do the NRA PRA test. Okay, so we try to skip these things. So negative lens means you are giving negative lenses till it gets in blur. Negative lenses means it will stimulate, negative lens will stimulate accommodation. So you can measure the amount of accommodation, what is at what point of time it is getting stimulated, right? Till the patient reports the first sustained blur, that means that is the value of the negative lens to blur. Okay, so you add my point minus 0.25, minus 0.5, 0.75 and all like NRA PRA test. So I'll be discussing that in details in the later ones. Okay, so these are the methods to measure accommodation. Okay, So amplitude of accommodation, basically we measure it by the help of a RAF ruler. Okay. Also we can measure the NPA by the push-up method. Any method we can measure it and record it in the orthoptic evaluation case sheet. Is it clear to all of you? Any questions till this? Yes. Any questions till this? Okay. So then we are moving to the next step. Moving to the next step, that is called the negative relative accommodation. Negative relative accommodation. So what is a negative relative accommodation? So this is also an accommodation evaluation test. So negative relative accommodation means you are relaxing the accommodation with the help of addition of plus lenses. Okay. So you can see that the patient is holding a book at his reading distance. Correct. Now you are adding plus lenses in plus 0.25 clicks. You can see that you are adding, you can see that the examiner is adding plus 0.25 in plus 0.25 clicks. Binocularly you are adding on the trial frame. And suppose the patient is holding the book as his reading distance, tell the patient. So tell the patient to read. Okay. Tell the patient to read and tell him to report when it gets the first sustained blood is reported. Okay. So patient is holding the book at his reading distance. You always measure, we always first measure the distance from the eye to the reading book so that the distance is not getting changed. Okay. Patient is holding the book. Now from the trial box, you are adding plus lenses in 0.25 clicks. Means you add first plus 0.25. Okay. Tell the patient whether it is clear. Yes, it will be clear. Then you add plus 0.5. Okay. Then and again ask the patient will report yes, it is clear. So always put a higher plus lens first in the trial frame and then you remove the lower plus lens. Okay. So plus 0.25 you have put in the trial frame. Then you from the trial box you take a plus 0.502 lenses and then put it in the back side of the trial frame. Then you remove the plus 0.25. Okay. Similarly, again the patient, if it is clear, then you take the plus 0.75 from the trial box and you again put it in the front side or in the back side, wherever it is, in plus 0.75 first, and then you remove the plus 0.5. So slowly in this way you increase the amount of plus lenses and find out at what point of time the patient is having the first sustained blood. Is it clear to all of you? Yes. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first sustained blood, you note it down. So negative relative accommodation, while measuring negative relative accommodation, you need to keep the plus lenses first. Okay, you need to keep the higher plus lenses first. Then you need to remove the lower plus lenses. Why? Because if you are removing the plus lenses, that means you are removing the, you are again like stimulating the accommodation. So by adding plus lenses, what we are doing, if we are adding plus lenses, what we are doing, we are relaxing the amount of accommodation. So by negative relative accommodation, what mainly you are doing, you are relaxing the amount of accommodation and see how much amount of accommodation the patient can relax. So that is a value of NRA or a negative relative accommodation. So normal value is around plus 2.5 diopter or 2 plus 2.25 to plus 2.5 diopter. So now patient, if the patient is having plus 2.5 diopter NRA value, that means it is normal. So always note down the first sustained blood where the patient reports the first sustained blood. He should never change the distance of the book from his eyes. Okay, he should keep it straight, he should never change, and he should look at the innate target in the near vision book. Slowly and slowly you increase the plus power, and the patient will report when it will see the first sustained blood. Okay, so this is also an indirect method of measuring the accommodation. So if the NRA value is plus 2.5 means that is normal. If it is lesser, okay, if the NRA value is not plus 2.5 or plus 2.25, if you are getting an NRA value of plus 1.5, that means the patient might have a problem of relaxing accommodation. Okay, either the patient cannot relax the accommodation to the adequate level, or your refraction is wrong. Okay, it can happen if the refraction is wrong, means if the objective and subjective refraction is wrong, then you can get a lesser amount of NRA. Okay, and always NRA test is always done on the corrective glasses of the patient. If the patient is having +1 in his both eyes, so keep that corrective glasses in the trial frame, and over that you do the NRA test. Okay, so you get a lesser value of NRA, that means the patient cannot relax accommodation to the adequate amount, or else you have not prescribed the full plus. That means the patient is having some amount of latent hypermetropia, that you have not done your retinoscopy properly and not prescribed the patient. Okay, if a NRA value of higher amount is, you have getting a NRA value of around plus 3.5, plus 4, plus 4.5 and all, that means you have overcorrected the patient. The patient is a myopic patient, overcorrection has been done to the patient. So that can happen also. So all these things can be correlated together. So NRA value of plus 2.5, NRA value of plus 2.5 gives that is the normal value of NRA that the patient should have. Okay, so first you should relax the accommodation and measure the NRA, then you measure the positive relative accommodation. Okay, so okay, let me tell you something, that time it is showing, that remaining time it is showing 4 minute time. So after 4 minutes it will get off, so please do rejoin. Okay, the meeting will end after 4 minutes, as it is showing that remaining time is around 3.5 minutes. So once the meeting gets ended abruptly, please do rejoin with the same link. Okay, please do rejoin with the same link. Okay, let me discuss about the positive relative accommodation. So once you measure the negative relative accommodation, you note it down. So negative relative accommodation, always we do it binocularly. We add this plus lenses binocularly. Okay, so once you measure the negative relative accommodation, suppose you have got around plus 2.5, so note it down. Then that means you have relaxed the accommodation to the highest level. You have relaxed the accommodation to the highest level, that is the NRA value. Now, before measuring the positive relative accommodation, you should, the accommodation should come to its normal level. It should come to its normal level. How? You have to reduce that plus lenses. Okay, so once you have noted down the NRA value, reduce the plus lenses to like plus 2.5. It is there in the trial frame. So reduce reduce our plus lenses by 0.5 diopter, then put a plus 2, plus 1.5, plus 1 and all. Like that you come to 0, and then only you start doing the positive relative accommodation test. Why the positive relative accommodation test? Because as you have relaxed the accommodation to the highest level, so it should come to the 0, and then you should do a positive relative accommodation test. Okay, so for positive relative accommodation test, similarly, a target is given. Okay, a target is given. The patient is holding the book at whatever is it reading distance, right? The target is given, and then similarly, same way you are adding minus lenses in 0.25 clicks. You can see that minus lenses are being added binocularly, 0.5 clicks. So the patient is reading keeping the reading material at his reading distance, and 0.25 clicks, you are adding the minus lenses. The same way you tell the patient, report me when you see this letters to be blur. So you measure the first sustained blur with the help in the positive relative accommodation test. So here you need not to keep a higher lens, and then you you need not to keep a higher lens and remove the lower lens, because now in this positive relative accommodation test you are stimulating the accommodation. Basically you are stimulating the accommodation. Okay, so when we put minus lenses, you are stimulating the accommodation, and you are finding out till how much accommodation the patient can be stimulated. Okay, till how much accommodation it can be stimulated for the patient. So PRA value, there is no normal value of PRA. Okay, but it also somewhere around, if the refraction is normal, so somewhere around minus 2.5 and all, that should be the PRA value. Okay, is it clear to all of you? Yes or no? Positive relative accommodation test, is it clear to all of you? Yes. Any questions? Okay, so it will get ended. The meeting is getting ended. So please do rejoin. Please do rejoin with